Hi, my name is Navneet and I'm the co-founder of KOGO, which is a Korean and Japanese brand based out of Thane. Potato covered corn dogs are called as KOGO in Korean language. So that is what KOGO is all about. Since we wanted to come up with corn dogs in the first place, and what would be a better name rather than keeping the potato covered non corn dogs name in itself. So we didn't give it a detailed thought. We just kept it very simple, and that's how KOGO came into picture. The history behind KOGO is like the three friends who were having a random conversation about business, and they all were foodies, and I myself being a biggest foodie because I have also worked in a hospitality background of my cousins. So they have their own business setups, and I had worked with them for a few years, so I had that experience in hospitality. So I was also interested, very well interested in that discussion, and that led for us of all the ideas of the friends came together, and that formed KOGO. First year was a plethora of challenges that we faced, huge pool of challenges in front of us. Starting with actually hiring the good quality staff, and they were not aware about Korean food at all. So we had to show them different kinds of videos, but that was just the start. But then we actually went to different restaurants, made them try different types of cuisines, and we ourselves studied a lot about sauces, the flavoring, the flavor profiles that we wanted. And with all this knowledge accumulated, we trained the regular chefs into making, bringing up that the flavors of Korea and Japan. That was the initial big challenge of ours, to actually train the staff and to build that level of consistency that we wanted in our food. Since we were not from the hospitality background, it was an entirely a new war for us. Every day we come to KOGO and there was a war that we had to face. so if I could tell you about all these challenges, then the list will be endless. But to keep it short, the major challenges that we faced in the past was, of course, the hiring issues and the consistency. So Korean and Japanese cuisine, when we started KOGO, not many people were offering Korean and Japanese cuisine, and we were the first one who were selling corn dogs in the city. So that gave us a big first mover advantage. First we launched corn dogs, and after a few months we launched Boba tea. So again, when we launched Boba tea, it became an attraction, and it became a huge success. So corn dog and Boba tea became a go-to combo for all our guests. So actually, menu, we worked very well on the menu first. Theme and branding actually came a lot later because we wanted to deliver the best quality food to all our guests. So that's when we worked thoroughly on our menu during the entire first year of our brand, and then we thought of doing branding. So of course we had some thought in our mind, some positioning. And right now if you see that there is a lot of red and blues in our brand which associate with the Korean flag. We had a vision that how we want to do this brand, but then we were much more focused during the first year of the brand on building the menu, curating the menu, pivoting what our items work the best, what is the flavor profile of the customers, of the local guests. So that we have to keep in mind. It's not just that because we want to deliver the most authentic food, we should neglect the taste profile of the local guests. So that we had to keep in mind, and because we gave a thought to all these things, it took us a lot of time to actually curate the menu. Then once the menu was set and we were very confident, people were already accepting all our items, they were loving our menu. Then we gave it a little bit detailed thought into how we can build KOGO as a brand. So that's when all those small points started trickling down and created a brand identity of KOGO. Right now if you see the way the KOGO is, it was not how we started. There was no branding into place. It was just a good quality Korean and Japanese food. So if any guest who is coming down to KOGO, he should definitely try our corn dogs. Then our Korean fried chicken is another most loved item by our guests. You can also try our ramen, and we serve amazing sushis as well. So apart from these items, the signature items that I just mentioned, you can pair this up with our beverages, which includes amazing boba teas and bubble teas, and that will be a very good combination for our guests. So I look after the drive. So the drive for working in hospitality business is very important. So if you don't have the drive, and if you're not passionate enough about the hospitality background, then you can say it as you would land up in a situation where the place is right but the person is wrong. So you don't want to be the wrong person in the right place. So you have to take care of that. So if you have the drive for serving the customers and being in a warlike situation at times, then and still delivering in that situation, then you can be a great successful person in hospitality. Hospitality to me is giving the best experience to all our guests, serving them well, and serving them well with the quality food. Running a restaurant and visiting a restaurant is completely a different game altogether. It's like a movie. You go to a movie, all your guests are watching the movie, but the director and his team exactly know what goes behind making this movie. So that's the real difference. Guests see only the movie, but then the director knows exactly what scenario he faced for the movie to be made look like this, the way it is looking right now. It's a whole like a different warlike situation behind the scenes versus in front. There are many stories actually, but a couple of stories that that I always keep thinking of is one when we had an offer and we had kept all our items at ₹99. We were not expecting the kind of response that we got that time. Tires, right from the people had queued up since the morning, and right when I walked into the restaurant, there was already a lot of people inside the restaurant and they're queued up as well. So, in this hustle bustle itself, one lady came to me and she said that, you guys are doing really great. And in spite of, giving it at a much cheaper rate than what you usually do, than what you usually serve at, but still you have not compromised on the quality. It was the biggest compliment I think I felt from my perspective that I received in my journey of handling KOGO. And then there is another scenario wherein where your customers actually vouch for your brand in your absence. There's nothing like it, because I remember a scenario of one of our customers who was also my friend. She messaged me on Instagram that there was one situation wherein one lady was complaining to your staff about the ramen that she had ordered. Then that guest actually went up, who was a fan of KOGO, of course. So then she went to that customer and she guided that if you wanted this kind of flavor profile, then you should have ordered this ramen. She gave a suggestion, a friendly suggestion, of course. So that's was again a good memory that when your customers vouch for your brand in your absence. So we choose a hybrid path. There's no fixed path as such that we want to choose only the franchisee model, or we want to build all the outlets all by ourselves. So the path is flexible, of course, and we want to keep it hybrid. So whatever works the best for the brand, in the favor of the brand, we'll choose that path. But we definitely have expansion plans in the pipeline. Actually, it would be our tagline in itself, which is from soul to soul. So we bring the flavors of Seoul, will directly touch your soul. So that line can be the soul of our cafe. So I would like to give a huge shout out to Indian Hospitality Magazine for coming down to KOGO and actually covering all the aspects of the brand. The message to the younger generation would be, ideas are easy, but execution is everything. This is what we have learned through a very hard way, and this is what I would want the younger generation also to keep in mind, because ideas on paper sound very fancy, they look very attractive, but when it gets down to actually implementing and executing things, that's the hardest and the real job. So make sure you always keep that in mind.